morning. Good morning.
Right. I have my
Thank you for
sisters
coming
here as
in on
promised. Love
number
is
12.
patient. I have my sisters here. We're all together. I'm in Connecticut. Nisha is in South Carolina, and I'm sorry, Nisha's in Atlanta, and Nikki is in South Carolina, but we all together. Today, I'm so excited to have my sisters. Today, we're going to talk about Thursdays. That's what we're calling this session, Thursdays. And it's all about that bonding moment when my dad got all his kids together under one roof and we had our family. All right. So I'm going to have Nisha and Nikki introduce themselves and then we're going to jump right in. We're going to talk about Thursdays. Thursdays. So anybody can start to
Well,
introduction.
I'm Nisha, as she said. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the baby sister of the bunch. I teach fifth grade math and science. We're all teachers. And I guess that's it. I have three children, and that's it.
Thank you, Nick.
Nick?
Well, Nick, I'm. Oh Lord, I'm Nikki, the middle sister. I teach 9 through 12 high school English, and I have two children. I think that's all.
All right, so we're gonna jump right into Thursdays. We're gonna just start with some facts. All right, my dad had three sets of children. We had an older brother. His name was Raymond, um, and we call everybody. We didn't, but everybody called him Tiger. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody,
Yeah.
his school friends, um, his friends around the neighborhood. He was self-proclaimed Tiger, but everybody, it stuck. Everybody called him Tiger. To this
Hmm.
day, if I see one of his friends, they'll say, "That's Tiger's little sister." Like it
Mm.
stuck. But we had Raymond. He actually lived across the street from my dad. So he would come over on Thursdays. And then when I was younger, my dad would come get me. But as I got older, I may have made my way up there from school or I would get there some kind of way because it was mandatory. My dad didn't say that it was mandatory, but we kind of sensed and picked it up. Like if we didn't make a Thursday, it would be a big deal. Like, where were you? Like, why didn't you come up? No, it's that's unacceptable. Like, it's Thursday, you should be here. So it was. I want to say it
Yeah,
was
Thursday.
mandatory. It was just
Yeah.
mandatory. So the idea behind this was he got all his kids together under one roof and we had family time. So we're just going to talk about some, some unique things that we did during our family time. The consistent part of Thursdays that I thought, now I'm looking back on it, it was a very consistent way of bonding the family together. And I must say that at the end of the day, it worked because we are very close. Um, Based on our foundation of coming together on Thursdays, and that was the minimum. So I might come up other days, mainly Sunday, because that was another off day for him. But that was our foundation where we got a chance to learn each other, to get to know each other, to get to know each other's personalities. And that is our foundation of what we have today. Our kids love each other. Our kids know each other. Um, and we're continuing this tradition of making sure, even if we can't visit one another, we're on the phone and everybody knows about what's going on in each other's lives for the most part. We try. We try because we all have different lives in different cities and it's difficult to maintain, but we do the best we can. We do it the best we can. So anybody can open up and And talk about Thursdays from your point of view. Let's talk about it from your.
Well, as I said, I'm the baby, so by the time I came along, it was just like, this is what it is. You have two sisters, you have a brother. Um, it didn't seem strange to me until I would tell people, and they would be like, your brother lives across the street and your other sister lives up the street. And it didn't seem strange to me because that's what I was born into. And I knew I saw Raymond more so because he lived right across the street. So I saw him about every day. And then I would see, 2 to 3 times a week or every Thursday at least. So it just wasn't strange to me. But that's what, being the youngest, it was already established. That's sort of what I came into. So, but I look forward to it as a child. I look forward to it. I knew that was the day I could eat anywhere I wanted to. I didn't have to have, mom cook or a home cooked meal. I knew I could get fast food. So that was a perk. And then to see everybody, I knew that was the day that Dad was off, so I could have some of his attention. Mom was there, and then everybody, all my siblings were there. So, it meant a lot to me. But that's how it was for me growing up.
Good, Nick.
Well, for me, it was just Thursdays. Thursdays could be chaotic, but you just knew after school you were coming home, your whole family was there. You were going to be able to laugh and sing and act a fool and play board games when it was right. You just knew you had people. So for me, it was just I had everybody's attention because I was the middle child. So I was kind of, rambunctious. So it was just fun. And it was always chaotic. And it was always a lot of people. And we were family. So big fun.
So that's everybody's viewpoint. I find it interesting that Nisha and Simone, their comments are pretty much the same. Baby girls, it's already been established. The blending piece has already been established by the time that they come into the picture. So that's one interesting thing about it. And then Nikki, she brings in another flavor because she's talking about the freedom that she had to just be herself with her family. So I love that part of it because Nikki was Nikki. There was never a dull moment when it came to Nikki and my brother Raymond. Like they were the ones to stir the pot and made it quite interesting. I think me and Nisha were more of the booky type of love school, and, making the grades,
Yeah.
and, reading and, looking forward to things that were going on in school. But Raymond and Nikki, they just made it so, always joking and laughing and bringing up stuff and kicking Dad off, like, what she did, and that Raymond, And so it was a really good mix of personalities. And I think that in the blending process, that's so important to know everybody's personality, to learn each other. It's so important to mix it all together. Let's talk about some traditions that we established on Thursdays. Some of the things that we did, like every time we came. Anybody can chime in and just kind of mention something.
Well, like I said, I knew that we got to go to McDonald's or Wendy's or, me being so young, I look forward to that. And then I don't think I had an allowance, but I know y'all did. What did I have? Maybe $1? If anything, I don't remember.
It was like $3. I was like, well, you had an allowance. We all had an allowance. Ina had the dishes. Raymond had the trash. I had to wipe off the wooden tables in the living room. Like that was my chore.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what yours was. Might have been to like I don't know which, but I know you got $3. I got $5. I think Ina got like 10.
$3.
And it might have got 15 or 20. And then when Raymond was like, when he was done, I was like, when do we get our raise? We got raises and stuff. Like, he's like, you did such a good job. Here's a raise. Are you serious? I mean, like, so yeah, we had chores on Thursdays. I mean, we had chores
Yeah, I
anyway,
remember
but
that.
Thursday chores were set in stone. And it was always by the age. Like, he's the oldest, the second oldest, you the middle child, you're the youngest. So it was always by age.
Everything
It was.
was
It was. And being that you said that, because I don't think I got to ride in the front seat until
ever.
I don't know how old I was on a Thursday.
Everybody was
Because,
going.
yeah, I never got to ride in the front seat. So,
That was
No.
another
Mhm.
tradition that Dad just made these things up. He just made them up.
yeah.
He always had a wonderful car, and we would pretty much always go with him to get Pizza Hut,
Mhm.
Wendy's. It was Pizza Hut, Wendy's, were the two that I remember. Might have did KFC sometimes.
Yeah.
And then he might cook. On a good day, he might grill a steak or two, So, but when we would go
Yeah.
out,
Yep.
Raymond, if he wasn't driving, he was in the front seat. Three girls in the back. And then as time progressed, Raymond would take us to get something to eat. And so he would drive. I would be in the passenger seat.
Mhm.
And then Nikki and Nisha would be in the back. So these little traditions are just how he managed us while we were over. Very good at that part of it, controlling the situation without controlling it. We didn't even know that these things were in place, but he had it in place pretty good. So those are some of the traditions that we established. We also, it was like a meeting place for everybody. So let's talk about that meeting place. Nikki said it was a full house. It wasn't just us. So, sometimes we would bring our friends. Others would be there. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. And especially when I got older, like my close friends, they knew that on Thursday, it was Thursday and they could come up. Oh, Raymond's going to be over there. Ena's going to be over there. So they pretty much knew and would stop by and come over as well. So, yeah. I think our closest friends knew Thursday, too, just like we did.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And that was a time when I could meet some of you guys' friends. I remember your girlfriends that used to come over. And then when we got older, I met the boyfriends, so Raymond, my God, he would bring over the person that he was seeing that particular day or that he was with. We had a couple favorites. I won't say any names, but we had a couple favorites that, kind of lasted a long time. Those, we met those young ladies and others alike. And Raymond even brought women to my house to meet my mom. He was quite a character. But he would bring his friends over, his football friends, the friends from the neighborhood. He would have over. And like you said, everybody knew it was Thursday. Dad was going to be up. He was going to eat. We're going to have a good time. He was going to laugh, sit down and watch TV, and have a good time. Let's go into the discipline of it. Not just if you got in trouble and was on punishment, but how would you say he disciplined us in that Thursday space? Because you guys were with him 24/7, but sometimes the heat came down on Thursdays. Do you guys remember anything like that, or any thing that he was upset about? How did he handle that with us?
See, I don't remember particularly on Thursday, but just in speaking of Dad, he never had to like physically hit me. If he raised his voice or was stern with me, that was enough to make me cry because I knew for him to have to say something to me, because he was so chill and so laid back. So if he was serious and was saying something to you, that broke me down. You didn't even have to go any further with me because I'm like, he is so disappointing.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that was different on Thursday or any other day. You know, if he had to talk to you, then it was, you knew he was upset. It was something serious.
Sure.
But Nick got in trouble more than me, so
I
you know.
know you got your story.
Well, I knew you were going to.
Got some story.
I mean, you know, she would know.
He, you know, one thing about that is when he say he has to talk to you, you should really just go talk to him, because like he's gonna give you a couple chances before he has to.
Yeah.
He's giving you some roads to success. Now it's up to you whether you want to take the road. So he's gonna call you, hey Nick, I gotta talk to you. Yeah, okay. Hey Nick, meet me in the bedroom, sit in that chair. You know that chair.
Yes.
All right.
Down
So
the basement.
when he talks to you, if you gotta lay his hands on you, you done messed up.
Yeah.
You done messed up. So my thing is normally I get air beaten, but when he has had to lay some hands quite a few times. And it's just it's something to like, it's not gonna hurt, but it's just going to embarrass you. Like the pop outside the back of the head and you fall
Yes,
forward.
that was it.
Like he's good
That
for
was the
those.
signature.
Like the little,
that was the signature right there. Yes.
the plucking for bam. I mean, just rude stuff. Like he's not spanking you, but he's, you know, he don't want to hurt you, but you're gonna know. So that was his way. And then he'll come back later. Nick, I tried to tell you. I had to give you the tools. You didn't use them. Here we are. And then you back to chill.
Yeah.
You know, again, you learned your lesson until the next time.
Yeah,
He did. I tried to give you the tools. Okay, Dad. Okay.
it was it's gonna be different for me, of course, just seeing him a couple times a week. But if anything jumped off, if he noticed something different about what was going on, or he heard something about me, there was a couple times where he was like, we gotta talk. We gotta talk. I have to talk to you. And I'm more like Nisha. He ain't never have to, he didn't ever have to hit me. Hey, I mean that like you said, he was just so cool. So it felt good when you could talk to him and everything be all right. But when he had to talk to you, trust me, he dealt with it. He dealt with everything that he did not like. And it was calm, it was cool, it was collected,
It was.
He was stern, understood where he was coming from. Like, and he could see all through you. He was street. He could see all through
Yes.
you. Like if you was trying to lie, cop up a lie, it better be good. Because he could pretty much read you.
You gonna try to run game on me? You gonna try to run game on me? No, Dad, I'm not. I'm not. Okay, you got me. I'm not.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Oh,
Yes,
you running?
Yes.
I'm done.
Repeat that and make it the real story this time, type of thing. Yeah, don't do that. But yeah, I so respect him for that, because it wasn't all about the beating, you know, the hitting. It wasn't all about that. He really wanted to get this message to you, like, I'm trying to help you, type of thing. So I appreciate that, because in seeing you know, how some parents discipline and talk to their kids, like, wow, we had it good, that we had those conversations. A lot of people, they don't converse with their children. They just go to beating, or don't say nothing at all. I think that's as harmful. But he was really good with the discipline piece. Now he's gonna tell your business. He will tell it. He's gonna tell it.
Yes.
You have to talk to Nikki about blah blah blah.
Yes.
And this should try.
He's gonna tell
He's
you.
gonna tell it. But,
Oh yeah, he will.
You will be helped, because I know y'all knew all my business. I already know that.
Immediately.
I thought it was concealed, but I was like, oh my God, yeah, he told that.
Uh-huh.
So that was just something that, you know, it's just a natural thing. He's going to help you. He's going to discipline you, but you can talk about it too. Just like we talked about him. You know what dad
Uh-huh.
did?
Yes.
You know? So all in a family type of
Hey.
thing. Um, when did you guys, I mean, we already talked about the blending process or blending and bonding process. But talk about um, me and Raymond's, not so much Raymond because he was close to y'all. He was in, you know, closer proximity to the house. So you saw more of him. But talk a little bit about me. Um, as I had stated in a previous session, I was talking about I was the only child. And and I do want to address this. I mentioned that I had two half sisters, and I dealt with this on a previous show, but I wanted to bring it up now. That the only reason I said that, and I want to tell the audience that the only reason I said half sisters is to describe, um, you know, how it really is. But we was never taught to say half. We was never taught to say step. My dad said, you are sisters, and that's the bottom line. We don't do halves and steps. And I teach my kids that too. But because it was offensive, I wanted to publicly apologize for that because we don't talk that. That's a language that we don't speak. And I didn't want to offend anybody, didn't mean nothing by it. I love my sisters and they know that, but the verbiage is important, and I think it was important to just stop and say I apologize, and that will come out my mouth again because I felt so bad after I said it, and then I got a call on it, so I was like, oh no, 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 that is not how I meant that at all. So I wanted to straighten that out. But in talking about that, I want you to describe how you viewed me as being a only child, part time. I'm gonna say part time. That's how I would describe that. How did you view that?
What
Just
do
your
you
thoughts.
mean? Yeah, what do you mean viewed it as?
Yeah, just your thoughts on when I went home. What did you even think about
Oh,
it?
well,
Did you
I
even
did.
consider it?
Younger, I was like, I feel, I would say maybe middle high school. I would feel like she has the best of both worlds. She gets to come here and, you know, do whatever and have birthdays and gifts here. And then she gets to go home with her mom and
Mm,
get some more. So I looked at it more as, I guess materialistic things. Like I said, I was in high school at the time.
yeah.
So I was like, wow, she gets, you know, the best of both worlds. We sort of just get what we have here, and that's, you know, sort of it. I can't ask Dad, and if he says no, then go maybe to Mom, because they were on one page. So when you
Yeah.
went to them, if one, go ask your mother. Oh, she said no, so it's no. So there was no sort of going back and forth. But so that's how I viewed it. Now, as I told you and we talked, I was like, that's just sort of how I feel. I don't know, you know, I can't discount your feelings in it because you lived a life totally different than mine. I'm on one point of view of that. I'm the youngest one, and two, I'm in the household with Dad. So I didn't know, I don't know what that life is like to be split.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's how I viewed it then, as, you know, you had the best of both.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Nick?
Well, I think we both viewed it like you might have had the best of worlds, but it wasn't about like the things you got. It was like if Raymond came over there and said I was doing something at the park, then that was the word was that's what Raymond said. So I would really get in trouble. If you and I had an argument and you went and told Dad, I would get in trouble. So it wasn't like they have the best of both worlds because they're getting what we're not. It's how you gonna believe them? Like, why do you always believe them? You know, sometimes Raymond was a known liar. He would just do it just to get at me, and Dad would just believe him. So it was more like that. But then, say, growing up as an only child, time I just did that. Like, I didn't see that. Everybody was at our house. These are my sisters. That's my brother, and y'all were always like there. So I don't know. I don't know that we learned like that's your half sister until we got a little. But at that point, it really didn't matter. These are my sisters. That is my brother, and we're always here. So I didn't. When you say only child, I kind of was like, what does she mean? Not realizing that there's that whole part of your life that's not with us, the house. So that's kind of how it was growing up for me. That's all I can, as far as that's concerned.
I didn't care because it was so established that I was your sister. And in the terms that we talk about it now, it was blended. Dad set aside these Thursdays. The term wasn't even out back then, but he set aside these Thursdays so our family could blend all together. We had a brother that lived in another home. I lived in another home. You guys lived in his home. But on Thursdays and Sundays, he was in the business of blending it all together, blending it all together. So just in closing, I would say that it's blended well because, I mean, we're sisters. You can't tell the difference. The differences were minimized. And I think he met his goal. My dad met his goal. Edward Martin met his goal because he blended this family. You can't even tell the difference now. My kids, know that they have two aunts that are teachers, their mother's sisters. There's no difference in it. So, what would be our part to other families that are being blended based on our experience with Thursdays? What will we say about it? What would we say what are the pros and cons of our Thursdays, this blending bonding process that you would definitely tell somebody else that was blending a family, hey, this would work, or hey, this would not work. Okay,
Well,
we'll start with,
oh, go ahead.
we'll start with you, Nish.
Oh, I think definitely getting all of your children together at one point and frequently. I don't think it should just be where birthdays, holidays. I think it has to be a frequent and consistent thing for them to really get to know each other. Beyond just that's my brother or my sister, for you to feel like, okay, that's not my half brother or my half sister. That is just my brother and sister because you see them so much. So you're so involved with what they're doing and so involved in their life because you spend so much time consistently. And then it gives the children something to look forward to. I know on this day, I'm going to see my brother and sister. There would be things, I can't wait to tell Ina and Raymond this when I see them or show them this. So I think, that just works.
Yeah, it worked. Nick, what would you say? Got a time together.
Yes.
I mean, these girls
Yes.
are busy. Things come up, so this is a wonderful time that we could come together and just share with you what we did in our family to blend. And today is a perfect example of how well it has been blended. I think Jake did a good job. That was my dad's. That was my dad's nickname. Everybody called him Jake. Jake did a good job blending this family up.
Yes.
All right, you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference. And Diane was very supportive. Very supportive. Nikki and Nish's mom, very supportive every week. She didn't complain. Sometimes she cooked. She sat down and talked with us. She was very supportive of how my dad wanted to blend his family, and he couldn't have done it unless she was as supportive as she is. And
Absolutely.
quietly, and she really, I got a chance to tell her this one of the times when we were sitting down and talking, that she didn't know it, and neither did I, but she was preparing me for my future. Just the way she handled me, the way she handled Raymond, the love that I felt coming from her week after week. It wasn't a tolerance type of thing. She loved us. You know, she loved her husband's children. She loved us and solely supported us coming together. I remember a time where my dad was teaching me to have a certain respect for her beyond what I had, because she didn't tell us what she did for us. She didn't tell us a lot of things that um, sacrifices that she made for me and Raymond. She never told us. But my dad would tell us, look, that Christmas gift or that, whatever you got right there, that came from Diane. And I think that he was absolutely right in saying that, because that gave me another level of respect for this woman, that she didn't have to do nothing for us. She didn't have to. That's not in her description as a wife. You don't have to. And so I am grateful that my dad not only got his kids together, but he corrected us and taught us and brought us up to a level of respect for his wife, for this woman that he decided to spend his life with. We were, in this time that we came together, we respected Diane always. And to a point where this family is so blended that when I go home to Pittsburgh and I don't see Diane, I feel bad. Like every time I go there, I try to go visit her because she's just a part of me. You know what I'm saying? So, and if I don't visit her, I definitely call her. And that's every time my feet settle in on Pittsburgh ground. I call Diane Martin, because the love that she showed to me and my brother, and the part that she played in this blending process is not always talked about. It's not always talked about. The other parent is not always talked about. But today I want to recognize how she was an integral part of this blend. So I publicly thank her for doing that, because she didn't have to do that. But I'm so glad that she did, because we're the better for it. We are the better for it today. So thank you, ladies, for joining in. Nick,
Yes.
I'm so sorry that your camera went out on us, but we hear you. You represented. We got enough of your video that we can benefit from you guys coming on, and I so appreciate it. I want y'all to come back, and we're going to do another segment on the death of a sibling. We're not going to do it today. We're going to come back and get these cameras right.
Okay.
All right. But thank y'all so much. I love you.
All right. Love you too.
Baby sisters. I love y'all. All right.
Bye
Bye
now.
now.
You too.